Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Geometry Wars 3 Dimensions Evolved. In 1080p 60, no less, because hell yeah. Because why not, right? So, Geometry Wars 3 Dimensions Evolved, that's a big name, isn't it? So, my first game of twin-stick shooters just in general was Geometry Wars 2 on the Xbox 360. And admittedly, that was the game that made me like twin-stick shooters as much as I do now, and then I went back and played Smash TV, and that game is incredible. But seeing Geometry Wars 3 made me happy, because I'm like, well, I hope they can keep the streak of the game going, or at least the game's being so good going. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pop into the adventure mode first, but there are other modes that you can unlock, like, for example, the Ultimate mode, which was new to the Evolved expansion, that contains 40 other levels. And then you've got Hardcore, which I don't actually have unlocked yet, but you need 40 stars to open it, so I don't think I'll be seeing it, which doesn't let you have any of the in-game upgrades. And then you've also got Classic mode, which has 6 different game modes for you to play, and you've even got online leaderboards. So you can check the leaderboards for everyone who's been playing. And I'm pretty sure this is PSN leaderboards too, because I find it hard to believe. I saw a leaderboard with one of my friends who was currently number 5 on that scoreboard, and I find it hard to believe he got number 5 right after this version came out. You've also got bonus levels, but I'm not entirely sure what these bonus levels actually are. But anyway, we'll just go back to the adventure mode now. Now, the idea of the adventure mode is that you have stars, and every level you can get 3 stars on, so every star is a amount of score. There are several different types of game modes. We'll start with this one, which is Deadline. You get a certain amount of time, and you go try and get as much points as you can in that time limit. You have all sorts of different drones you can take with you. And they all have their own specific abilities, and you can upgrade them all by picking up gems throughout the game. So you can bring along any drones you like, which is quite nice. And you've also got supers, I guess, which will actually do other specific things, which is a nice little thing. But anyway, off we go to the level. So for those of you who've never played Geometry Wars 3 or any Geometry Wars game before, it's basically the twin-stick shooter taken down to its absolute minimum. The idea is, you are a ship. You fly around and you shoot at other ships, using the left and right sticks respectively. Whenever you shoot a ship, or a shape, or whatever the bloody hell you want to call them. I'll call them enemies, why not? So whenever you shoot an enemy, they'll drop a little green thing called a geom. And these geoms increase your multiplier. God damn it. So when you get the geoms... God damn it, I missed that score thing over there. I'll go back and it's gone. When you get a specific amount of gems, you'll get a new gun for a certain amount of time. But other than that, basically they just increase your multiplier. So that you want as many gems as you can possibly get. And I keep dying because I'm an idiot. Thankfully you don't lose your multiplier when you die in this one, but at the same time, you do have lives and you do have time limits to deal with. So as you can see, when I started this level, it gave me a time limit of 2 minutes. And those 2 minutes can go away very quickly, especially if you die too many times. Tried to use a smart bomb there, but I could not press the button in time. You do have access to your super, which I showed you before. In this guy's case, is mines that he lays down. But you can get you can take along any drone you want to any of the regular levels. And any of the second campaign's levels. God, I'm doing terribly right now. You can take along any drones you like to any of those levels, so you can practice your best techniques, and you can practice the best techniques and the best abilities. So at the end of every level, you get compared to everyone else on your friends list, which is quite nice, because it actually gives you a reason to keep playing. It's actually a real good reason to keep playing, because you just end up playing over and over again, trying to beat that bastard score. You'll even notice that sometimes even when you've finished a level, or at least got a star on it so you can go to the next level, you end up starting again. You end up just hitting the restart button, because if you fail a level, or if you just want to feel like giving it another shot, you can press the square button immediately before the level goes to the level transition, and it'll automatically restart the level for you. So you can just immediately restart, which is a really nice thing. You can't actually restart while you're in the middle of a level, though, which is kind of annoying, but you have to either actively fail or... Oh, God. There's a smart bomb for you. You either have to actively fail or pause and restart the game, but still, it's quite nice being able to immediately jump back in after you fail on a one-life stage, and there are a lot of one-life stages in this game, so... Yeah, you would expect them to let you do that. And thankfully they did. Notably, this game's also got a ton of different modes to it. As you saw, there were 6 classic modes there, but there are also a ton of levels in this game which actually give a different kind of challenge. Like the second level in the second campaign that you unlock at 20 stars is a level where you draw a trail behind you, and if you successfully hit enemies with the trail, you kill them and you get points for it, but you don't have guns. So you have to be... Damn. Oh well, I got 1 star at least. That was a decent performance from me. So there's a decent amount of level variety in this. There is also bombs. Not bombs. There's also bosses as well, and we'll see if we can get onto the 3rd boss, but I'll just keep going for now for the time being. Probably could have upgraded my attack drone there, but whatever. The game itself, despite the video capture probably corrupting what the game is mainly supposed to look like, thanks to the fact that, well, I'm recording this at 1080p 60 because, you know, this sort of game deserves it, and the idea that it's probably going to get screwed up by YouTube's processing at some point. Despite that, and despite, like, the color glare that comes from the recording kit, because it doesn't get a perfect representation of the colors on the monitor, and some of them tend to blend into each other. You might have noticed that on my videos. God damn it, we'll try that again. It's a very quick restart process. Despite those two things, the game looks awesome. It doesn't look as good as the PlayStation 4 version, but anyone expecting that's a fool. What you should expect is a really, really cool looking game. Despite that, a lot of the effects seem to be intact, but not all of them. And you still have a lot of visual effects, although they do tend to be... One moment, please. They do tend to be a bit blinding at points. It's not that big of a deal, but sometimes it can get in the way, especially if a really small enemy manages to get over at a big explosion of some kind. And sometimes there are problems with the camera angles. Like, you see how I move to the end of the cylinder here, and the camera tends to change rather suddenly? Well, there are some levels that take place on a whole cube, and the camera does an instant camera change. It isn't smooth or anything, which might make people feel a little ill. I might be able to go and play one of those levels to help players see whether or not they'll actually affect them. God damn it. I love that quick restart button. Wish it worked all the time, unfortunately, but there you go. And the sound is pretty damn good as well. God, it's dangerous trying to turn the sound down. Admittedly, it's not exactly like Geometry Wars 1 and 2. It's not... Oh, well, I actually completed the level, so we'll just leave it at that. It's not exactly like Geometry Wars 1 and 2, but at the same time, it is a really big step forward for the series. And considering this is a completely different developer than the original devs, considering it's a different level than the original dev than the original devs, it's a really really cool game. It's a really cool improvement over Geometry Wars 1 and 2. This is the cube level I was talking about, so we'll see how you go. I mean, obviously people with epilepsy should be going nowhere near this game, but yeah. If that sort of camera movement tends to make you a little ill, you probably want to avoid this. They also talked about how they were adapting the game for the Vita specifically, and the Vita's joysticks on a PlayStation blog post. And that was what I was most concerned about, because I didn't think the twin-stick shooting would actually feel that good on the Vita's control stick, just because there are a bunch of twin-stick shooters on the Vita that didn't actually take the Vita's joysticks into account, and so felt really bad on them. And thankfully, they weren't kidding when they said they tried their best to make it look good. Because, well, look good? Come on, figure it out, Blue. Feel good on the joysticks. It feels amazing. They did a great job on making it sensitive enough so that you can swap direction at will, but tight enough so that your aim isn't going to go sliding all over the place and that you can be as precise as possible. While there are a ton of bastards, and it can be easy to say, well, there was just way too many enemies for me to actively see coming, at the same time, I don't feel like the game was actively screwing me out of a life because of the controls due to the fact that it's a port. So I can't really fault them for how well they ported the controls over, because they ported over the controls pretty damn fantastically, if you ask me. They did a great job with those, I must say. There is also the local co-op mode. I actually managed to play a game of online, and somehow that worked pretty damn well, despite it probably being something like 200 ping, because I'm in I'm in Australia, and I was playing with someone in America, at least judging by the accent. Oh well. I played a game of online where you had to fight the boss and at the same time try and outscore the opponent, and that worked really well. And there's an online co-op mode too, not online, a local co-op mode too, where one player controls the left set with the left set of buttons, and the other player controls with the right side of the buttons. It's kind of ridiculous. And you get 10 levels for that too. The game has over 100 levels overall, which is kind of insane, honestly. You'll be here for a pretty long time, trying to 3-star everything, because everything's got leaderboards, so you've at least got reason to try and beat that bastard who's got like 10 more points than you, or in this case it'd probably be more like 100,000. So I think I'll just go back to classic mode, and I'll play some King. Yeah, why not? This is a pretty unique mode, because you can't actually shoot unless you're inside a King zone, but as soon as you get inside a King zone, it'll start shrinking on you. And if you're not inside of a King zone, you can be hurt. But yeah, performance in this game is pretty damn good too. Runs almost flawlessly. The intro transitions do tend to have a couple of problems with performance, but it's nowhere near as bad as it could be. The game runs at a solid 60 FPS during gameplay almost all of the time. And despite how the color might be making it look how unsmooth and crap like that, it's all completely smooth on the Vita screen. It's a nice smooth gradient, and it doesn't look terrible at all, like this kit tends to make some stuff look. Runs great, looks great, sounds great, has tons of content, free on PlayStation Plus, and here's the kicker. You expect this game to be huge for all the graphics it has. Wrong button. You expect it to be huge for all the graphics it has. See? Under 100 meg. That was dumb. So, under 100 meg, for a very pretty, with a lot of longevity, really fun game. And it costs like $15 otherwise. Online leaderboards for everything, and reasons to go back and try and beat your friends' high scores. I couldn't recommend it anymore. I'm having a blast. I'm definitely keeping this around. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say on it. Fantastic port. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.